Like, what is the difference celebrating queer joy up here in Northwest Louisiana versus down south?
Well, I'll say that what's interesting about anywhere that you celebrate Pride, you're going to get sort of the local perspective on what that means, right? Not just from the people that are putting on the event, but the people that attend the events. And that's really important because we do find that people travel to Shreveport, right, for Q Prom, for Field Gay, which we put on in the spring as an outdoor intramurals event. And people come and they say, there's nothing quite like this, or, where I am. And you know that some of those places do have events that are serving the LGBTQIA plus community, but perhaps it's not the way that they would like to celebrate, or maybe they see something unique here. And so what's really great about having an event in many places is you do get those little flavors, those idiosyncrasies, those pieces of culture that make each event and each location different and can help people find a home and community in places they didn't expect.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
I can't really necessarily speak to what it's like to celebrate Pride down south. I've only celebrated Pride down south one time. And it was several years ago. My wife and I went down to New Orleans because we thought it was going to be huge. And it wasn't at the time. I don't know what's going on with their Pride now. But I was told by several people that they don't really do Pride there big in New Orleans because they just do a parade. But they mainly focus on like Easter weekend and Southern Decadence. Those are bigger Pride activities in New Orleans. So I think that too, especially being in the South, we have to think outside of the box sometimes with our Pride celebrations, because it's not necessarily feasible to have an activity outside in the park in 100-degree weather. And a lot of Pride events are outdoors, right? Because you can have vendors, you can have bands, you can have all these activities. So what you see in a lot of places is, like for example, Pace does their Pride in the Park event in April because it's a lot cooler in April, you know? Yeah, it would be great if they could do an outdoor event in June, but we tried to do Field Gay in June one time and it was torturous, absolutely torturous. So we moved it to the spring. So I think you see that a lot with any southern state. Like I think Dallas does their Pride in September, you know, so there's some thinking outside of the box, and which I think is cool because then you're celebrating your Pride all year round. And then if you want to travel during Pride Month, to places like Shreveport, you can, and celebrate your Pride at an indoor event like Q Prom, or go to Pace does a film festival in the fall. There's lots of things, and I love that too, that there are places in reach that you can go to different events and see what Pride is like in different communities.
Yeah, and that's hard too because, I mean, Pride celebrations are constantly evolving, you know, as the torch gets passed to new generations or new groups of people step up. They're all going to have their own perspective on it. And so, I think what Sam said is right, is like, it's hard to compare, whether it's in New Orleans or Dallas or wherever. Everyone's going to be different, and they all have something positive to add to the community.
But I will say I absolutely love celebrating Pride up here in Northwest Louisiana. Pride is always a month, I would say, in Shreveport filled of happiness. There's always happy events going on. There's always people trying to make connections, find things to do. Q Prom, people are always laughing, having a great time, dancing, and just being authentic and being happy to be that way. So I've always enjoyed celebrating Pride up here. And our friends in Nela, Monroe,
Northeast Louisiana.
Louisiana, they started their Pride organization a few years ago, and they're really amping their stuff up, and their Pride event is June 28th. But it's always a lot of fun as well. So you're seeing these other organizations pop up in North Louisiana, which I think is beautiful as well.
Yeah, and I think it's worth saying too that while many people can travel, they'd have that privilege through financial capabilities or flexibility in their work schedule. A lot of times people can't, and so that's part of why Q Prom is important. It's a part of why all the different organizations, whether it's PACE or others that are working on community events, not just through Pride Month but around the year, is that people can't always afford to time or money travel, right? And so that's been really important to us, and part of why, to come and attend Field Gay is free, right? We do ask players to, donate some money toward the effort, but they don't have to. Q-Prom, we ask people to pay a ticket price, but if you have financial hardship, we have a scholarship program. So it's not just about the freedom to travel, but also the freedom from financial burden. And so what's been really great is that our sponsors and our ticket holders who can afford to pay help subsidize that effort too. And it's about making sure that everybody that wants to celebrate can celebrate.